All Hands Craft Cocktails is a new bar-strength canned cocktail, and it's made with 6 times distilled vodka and 10% ABV to make sure you never have to sacrifice the quality of your drink. All Hands Craft Cocktails is founded by Aggies and a proud partner of Texas A&M Athletics. It is the Buzz Williams Show, and we are at Rudy's. 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. We're talking Aggie basketball for the next 60 minutes, and we're going to talk Aggie basketball for the last 30 or so days. November's over. December straight ahead. It was a busy November. It's a challenging December. I have something that team coach Buzz posted. We'll play it a little bit, but right now the head coach is with us. Howdy, Buzz.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. You had a little downtime after Virginia, but my feeling, Buzz, is with this team, they can't wait to get back to work, can they?
I don't know. We got home Thursday morning at 3, so we took Thursday off. We got together Friday morning and did early bird following a day off. We worked Saturday a full day. We were off yesterday, and today we're early bird this morning and then back to 2 days before. I think their thought process towards work has been good. I think we've tried to manage all that transpired in November in the right way. I think there is some residue that comes from that physically, mentally, and emotionally. We just finished practice. We were okay. Not the traction that we had, I guess, 3 weeks ago, the last time we played a home game. And so we'll need to be a lot better tomorrow than we were today. But it's not because the intent of their heart is in the wrong place, but there has been a lot of non-routine stuff going on. And so November is over. We're thankful for all that transpired and all the lessons that come from it. But it's December the 4th now, and this past weekend is the only weekend we don't have a game, except I suppose we technically have a game Christmas weekend.
Right.
Yeah. I guess maybe it's the only weekend we have off all year long. And it wasn't off. We worked Friday a little bit and then a full day Saturday. So that was the first rep of not having a weekend game.
Yeah.
And we were just okay in that first rep of handling it.
You mentioned this at Virginia when we talked about the mental side. You always think about the physical side of playing Thursday, Friday, Sunday in Orlando, turning around and playing Wednesday at Virginia. And sometimes you forget the mental side of student athletes of 3 games in 4 days, add another road game at Virginia. And, oh, yeah, by the way, get your academics done as well. There's a lot to the mental side, is there not?
I've tried to stay aware of that as the model of college athletics is changing, just because my parents were educators and that's the home that I grew up in. Our graduation rate, no matter where I've been, I stand by, and I'm really proud of. And when those guys get old, they'll be proud too. And then today we had to delay everything for an hour. And typical staff members are scared to tell the head coach of any time change, particularly me, because I'm so finicky about time. And I was like, no, we had early bird at 6:41. We have 2 days before at 2. That means we're on the floor at 3:30. And they're like, well, Coach, today's the last day of the semester. And XYZ needs to turn in a project, and XYZ has a test they have to take by midnight, and they're in a tutoring session now, and I'm like, oh, I forgot about school. So, yeah, it's a new word. Corey taught it to me. It's not girl math. She's not good at girl math or boy math, but she taught me this word in October, and I put it on my calendar. When she taught it to me in October, I put it on my calendar on Saturday. So when she taught it to me in October, I put it on my calendar for December the 2nd. Mm-hmm. And what's on my calendar on December the 2nd, which was Saturday, it says, be aware of, and then I put quotes around it because I'd never heard this word, mental load.
Huh.
Have you heard anybody ever use that word?
No.
Yeah, I thought it was good wisdom that she taught me. She said mental load, and she was just saying it like talking.
Yeah.
And I said, what'd you say? She said mental load. And I go, what does that mean? She goes, like the load that you carry mentally. And it's weird waking up on a Saturday in December as a basketball coach and not having a game. So I woke up on Saturday, went to the office. It's a work day, but we're not playing, so it's weird. And Friday, we only did early bird, which is strange. And then Thursday morning, we got home at 3 o'clock in the morning, et cetera, et cetera. So I looked at my calendar for December, trying to plan out all of the specific times and everything, and I saw that, and I was like, that was good that she taught it to me when she did, and it was not ironic that I put it on December the 2nd. Be aware of mental load, because the mental load of the month of November was a heavy load to carry, academically probably for some of our guys, but emotionally for all of our guys, physically for all of our guys, and just the load that the trainer carries, Eddie, the load that Gep carries. Like we weren't able to really train normal in November. We were not in our normal routine because we were traveling so much. None of those are excuses. That was literally what we did. We lived that in real life. And I do think the mental load, the emotional load, the physical load, I've tried to be aware of Friday. I handled Friday pretty good. I did Saturday probably better than I thought. And I went back to acting like the head coach today and didn't handle any load very well, including my own. And it's because November's over.
Right.
And we got to go. And we have to take the next step for the load that's coming in the month of December.
Right.
It doesn't get easier in some respects. It gets more difficult. And so we have to take the next step in all of those loads in a mature way, which requires using all of the lessons from November.
He's Buzz Williams, and this is the Buzz Williams Show. We're at Rudy's. Much more with the head coach of Texas A&M basketball. 6-2 are the Aggies, and ranked number 21, 19 in the coaches poll. More when we return. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance wants to give you a VIP Aggie basketball fan experience this year. Go to 12thman.com/maroon contest and register. One winner and a guest will receive game tickets, a VIP tour of Reed Arena. You'll be recognized on the video board during the game. You can register today at 12thman.com/maroon contest. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance is a proud partner of Texas A&M Athletics. We continue with the Buzz Williams Show here at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. The week for the Aggies, Wednesday, DePaul, 8 p.m. is the tip at Reed Arena. Then Sunday, Memphis, 3 p.m. is the tip at Reed Arena. Top 25 came out. And it's not so much where Texas A&M is on this, but I like to see the other. Oh, by the way, I watched Virginia play Syracuse, and I wanted to ask a former ACC coach, did you like when the conference started that early? Or would you rather have more non-conference time?
Yeah, I'm not sure that I'm the most politically correct coach in the country. So I'm processing how to answer that the right way. When I was employed in the ACC, it was an 18-game schedule.
That's right.
And so you did not play games in December. Things have changed in the last 5 years. The ACC plays 20 games now. Mm-hmm. So they play 2 games prior to finals, which is what you saw this past weekend.
Yeah.
And the Big Ten plays 20 games, which is why you saw 2 Big Ten games this weekend. And that's coming in the SEC too. I'm probably not supposed to say that. I don't know when it's coming, but it's heading that way. And, you know, I know it's football country. That's why they're talking about 9 football games. Right. And it'll eventually turn into 20 basketball games. It's just the inventory for TV. The leagues are getting so big. Mm-hmm. It's hard to schedule. It's an unbalanced schedule. You know, who are the mirrors? Who are this? Who are that? It's all inventory TV related. So that's hard for me emotionally.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I think that it's just another adjustment I'll have to make because that's coming for every sport.
It's just weird to me that you get past Thanksgiving and there's a conference game. But I'm an old soul.
And then the flip side of that is you can probably get your guys ready to play a conference game. But then when you play a weekend of conference games, then the flip side of that is now you're back to non-conference for 3 weeks until after Christmas. Right. So I think the harder thing is probably the backside, not the front side. That would be my guess, even though I've never done it. And when I was in the Big East, it was 18. That's 20 now. Right. When I was in the ACC, it was 18. Now it's 20 now. And so I've always left before it got to 20.
You're not leaving anytime soon.
Well, it just becomes really hard math, right? Because they say that playing 2 real teams in conference play helps your net.
Right.
But without trying to act like I like numbers, the sum, though, is 0 because every team in the league, if there's 2 games, half the team's going to win and half the team's going to lose. So mathematically, in my opinion, it does not improve your net. But
by playing the SEC ACC Challenge this year, you get a bye for the first time in the SEC, correct? I know that's later on down the line.
Yes, sir.
But you had always had a bye in the ACC, correct?
I had always had a bye everywhere I'd been until I came here.
Yeah. And
playing 18 games, 9 consecutive weeks in a row, 2 games a week, that is a lot. And as far as I know, it's the only sport in the SEC that doesn't get a bye. So that is difficult. They're starting conference earlier by 5 days. And so I think not because of the SEC ACC Challenge, it's because of how the dates worked out that you get a bye. And I can't remember our bye is about middle of the way, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't remember when it is, but is our bye a weekday game?
Yeah, we play all the weekends, but it's like it's the midweek. We don't play Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah.
End of January.
I can't remember. I haven't studied it. It's just like today, I don't plan the month until we get to the month. Yeah. So the first few days of the month, everybody's a little out of sorts, and I'm having to send text messages what time we're meetings because normally they just look at my calendar, and I need to do a little bit of that tonight at home, trying to plan out the rest of the month. So I've seen it, but I don't remember when it is.
I just remember you saying that you had always had one. Everywhere else you had coached, and then when you got in the SEC,
that'll gobble you up. Yeah, because there's no relief.
Well, you're talking mental load, right?
Mental load, Corey. Yeah. Mental load.
I have it written down. I'm remembering that one. When we come back here to the Buzz Williams Show, something that Buzz shared on his social media, that's when we return. The Buzz Williams Show from Rudy's. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield. Looking for a fun way to spend time with family and friends this holiday season? Join Aggie Basketball at Reed Arena for Holiday Hoops. It runs from this Wednesday, December 6th until January 7th. Discounted tickets are available. They start as low as $5 with a $3 women's basketball youth ticket option. Visit 12thman.com/bball tickets for more info and to buy your tickets today. If you follow on Twitter is just one of the social media sites. It is Team Coach Buzz. And this was posted today, and here is the audio from this. And this is Buzz Williams talking with his team saying, "We grow when we're in adversity, not when we're saved from it." Here's Buzz Williams.
So yesterday, I'm doing my devotion, and the devotion was about Daniel in the lion's den. Some of you guys went to Vacation Bible School and you've heard of that. So they threw Daniel in this den in a room with a lion, and he killed the lion. The lion didn't kill him. So I went on a walk, and I was thinking, I was like, I kind of remember that when I was a kid, Daniel in the lion's den. And then for some reason, I started thinking about this story, but I didn't know where to find it. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They get in trouble, they're thrown in the fire. You guys with me? What we went through in November, a lot of stuff. This is what we did in November. This is what we did on the court in November. This is what you did on the court in November. It's a lot of stuff. You know what's going to happen in December? A lot more stuff. You don't get rescued from the fire. You get thrown in the fire. And it's human nature. Me too, guys. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about my devotional. There's a big difference in I'm in between the lines, I'm in the fire, or can you prevent me from the fire? We've been in the fire. Good for us. You guys don't think we're better on December the 2nd than we were November the 2nd? Because we've been in it. And we're not trying to be removed from it. I don't know how this is going to go because we're in the fire. And I keep saying to him, and I've said it in front of you guys, keep going, man. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. All of us, guys, all of us, not you, me, Josh, TJ, all of us are in the fire. And we're not trying to be removed from it. We're in it. But there's a huge difference in it and from it. We're in it. We're in the fire. And you know what? That's what we all dreamed of when we were kids. Every single one of us. I never thought I'd be the head coach of Texas A&M. Ever. We are living our best life now in every possible way. But you know why? Because we're in the fire. And because we're in the fire, we ain't going to be removed from it. We're in it. So quit acting like, oh, it's going to get easier. No. We're in it. We're in it. We're not going to be removed from it. You want to be the best? You got to be in the fire. Yes.
We will talk about that when we come back to the Buzz Williams Show. This is Aggie Basketball from Learfield. Howdy, Ags. Andrew Monaco here, inviting you all to visit Costa Vida Fresh Mexican Grill. Baja-style Mexican made from scratch daily. Serving breakfast tacos, lunch, and dinner. Aggie owned and operated in South College Station. That's our friend Holly has that. We continue with the Buzz Williams Show. We are at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road, here at College Station. Our second half hour of this show with Buzz. And after listening to what you said to the team, Buzz, that was posted, it reminded me of the John Madden quote that the easy street goes through the sewer, right?
Yeah, I read that in oh, you know where I read that?
Where?
Because I was a huge John Madden fan, but I was just so young. Michael Lombardi is my friend, and he wrote. He worked for Al Davis with the Raiders. He worked for Bill Walsh with the 49ers. He worked with Bill Belichick with the Browns. And he worked with Bill Belichick with the Patriots. And he retired and does a lot of football work now, but he wrote a book called Gridiron Genius, and it was superlative. And then he wrote a second book, and I can't remember the exact name, but it was about the best players ever to have played in the National Football League. I think the top 100 players that have ever played, according to him.
Yeah.
And the top 20 NFL head coaches, and Coach Madden was one of them. And that was the first time I was disappointed. That was the first time I'd ever read that quote. And I was disappointed in myself that as much as I had read about Coach Madden, I'd never heard that.
Yeah.
That was a great line. That was a great line.
But it's what you're talking about, which you hinted at after Virginia, Buzz, when you talk about cows and buffaloes.
I haven't taught our guys that cows and buffaloes That was just what Josh posted that on my account, and that was just my chaotic brain.
Yeah.
And the cows and buffaloes is just my chaotic brain too. But I haven't taught our guys that. And there's another one. There's another one that I learned. Mustangs and burros. Do you know the difference?
Burro's a donkey.
Yeah.
I've been called a burro. I'm going to tell you that right now because I'm stubborn.
There's a unique difference.
Yeah.
In Mustangs and how they fight.
Yeah.
And burros and how they fight. And actually, it's on my to-do list. It's one of the things on my to-do list as one of the things that I want to teach our guys at some point.
Okay.
Pretty interesting. It's different meaning than cows and buffaloes,
gotcha.
but similar.
But you have to embrace the expectations, right? There's a reason why there's a number 21 next to Texas A&M. There's expectations for this team. You can run to them or you can run away from those.
Yeah. I think I'm saying this in the right tone of voice, not condescending. We don't use the word expectations.
Right.
And nothing against the people that support us. I know the people that come here every week, and I appreciate it. And I know the people that are longtime season ticket holders, and I appreciate it. But the word expectations to me and how I receive it, it's external.
Correct.
And I don't think that you can lead from a place of external because you're never going to be able to please those who are on the outside. And I don't mean that disrespectfully at all. But the AP poll, in truth, it literally has no bearing whatsoever on anything relative to what we want to accomplish. But it's external. Mm-hmm. And like today, the first net came out. And that matters distinctly more than the AP or coaches poll. But I was explaining to our guys, be careful that Twitter will tell you that our net matters. Our net does not matter. So we're 15th in the net. That does not matter. Twitter says it matters. It doesn't matter. And that's not me trying to trick you. What matters is the net of our opponents, who we've played, how we played when we played them, and then how they continue to play when we no longer play them. The opponent's net is what makes our net our net. Last year, number 36 in the net, number 38 in the net did not go to the NCAA tournament. But number 67 and number 66 did get a net large. So you can't just look at the net. That's fool's gold, so to say. Mm-hmm. And I think that the word expectations, it creates this aura that there's more people than Team Bus One. And I think as a leader, it's standards, because standards are personal. Mm-hmm. People on the outside don't know our standards. They may have expectations of us, and when we win, they come to the game, and when we lose, they're on to spring football or baseball or whatever. So I think it's not expectations for me in regards to how I try to help our guys or our program. I think it's standards, because standards are personal. Expectations make it seem external.
So when you ask the question, is more important, are we better on December 2nd than we were on November 2nd?
Right, and the things that we're talking about are the things that are inside our program in regards to the things that we believe matter the most on and off the floor. And that's not necessarily the things that I talk about on the radio show or post-game or things like that.
You don't want this team to be the same today than on March 4th, correct?
We need to be better tomorrow than we were today.
And that's the only thing you can control, correct?
Yeah, you only want that's what makes all of this difficult, right? Is what are the things that you can control, And how can you only be focused on the things that you can control? Like, it's kind of like making a shot. I wish we'd make more shots. And externally, hey, Buzz, you need to run better offense. Hey, Buzz, you need to run better plays. Buzz, you should recruit better shooters. I get all of that. And that's why I quit social media. Like, I can't have that get in my brain because then it changes the lens in which I see people. I already have enough problems with that. So I need to lower the voice or lower the exposure of those that I have to be accountable to. And the things that you can't control, was that a good shot or was that a bad shot? You make a higher percentage of good shots. And then those shots that you're shooting, are they coming from our offense or are you trying to create those shots? And then are those the shots that you've been practicing when I'm in the gym? And then how many of those shots have you been practicing when I'm not in the gym? And so then it becomes, have you earned the right to make the shot? And if the answer to all of those questions are yes, okay, we'll keep shooting.
Right.
And so I think that there's controllables in regards to each day. And then you want to try to move the bar up just a half of a notch the next day. And you want one day before to be a little better than 2 days before, because one day before is your second rep. And then you want shoot around to just be a half a notch better, because that's your third rep. And then you want the game rep to be half a notch better, because that's the fourth rep. And so you hope within everything you do that I'm improving, and what I talk to our guys about, what I show our guys, all of the things that our coaches are responsible for, are they improving? Are we the example to our players on how to move it just a notch? Move it just a notch. And do they know that from our energy? Can they sense that from our body language? Can they hear that in our tone of voice? Are they aware that you have to have 9 sheets of paper to talk about it? Or can you do it off the top of your head? Like, guys know, players know. Players are way smarter than coaches. And so, yeah, I think you're always trying to bump it a notch.
Buzz Williams, this is the Buzz Williams Show. Question for me, and when we return, Aggie basketball from Learfield. Make sure you head on over to your local Rudy's or Rudy's.com to place an order for their real Texas barbecue. Enjoy 100% oak smoked meats, delicious sides, and Rudy's signature sauce. And don't forget, Rudy's serves made-to-order and grab-and-go breakfast tacos every day until 10 a.m. We continue with the Buzz Williams Show. The Aggies are home for a little while, but Ian's question for you, Ian Curtis, here in the front row.
I remember him when he looked like a kid. And wore a hat.
Yeah.
Was happy to be with Dad on Monday night.
Yeah. Now he's a college
student.
Now
I think his dad's riding with him.
That's exactly right.
I can just tell.
That's exactly right. Dad, we're going to see Buzz tonight. That's all he says.
Dad, I'll pick you up at 6:50 on the way to Rudy's. Okay.
What's the most challenging aspect of playing a road game?
Well, the easy answer is you're just out of rhythm, and so you try to create the same rhythm as you can. We've done a lot of different things in my career as a head coach. For the last 7, it could be, this may be 8. For the last 8 years, everything we would do one day before, we do before we leave campus. I used to do it different. So I think there's a little bit of rhythm that's different. The thing that I would say on game day is we're in charge of when we have shoot-around at Reed Arena. We're not in charge of when we have shoot-around on the road. And so there's typically a unique difference in our flow of game day. That would be the easiest things. I think the next thing is how can you have the calmness to only hear our voice and only respond to our words, not a fan, not an opponent, not an official? And how can you prevent all of the ambiance in the environment, which is typically completely against you, to not impact your production and your job? So that would probably be what I would say.
You have players, though, who kind of embrace going into somebody else's building and making them quiet.
I think you can always that's one of the things that Cal does for me. I study every head coach, no matter what league they're in, and I've done it for 15 years now, and that's one of the things that I do. What is their non-conference record? What is their conference record? What is their postseason record? In non-conference, take away the guarantee games if they're a Power 5 team. In conference, what's their home record and what's their road record? I think there's a lot of things that you can study, whether that's basketball or football. You can tell a lot about a program on layers that don't have to be spoken if you only look at good on good road games. I think that always says something. It doesn't necessarily mean the players aren't good or the players are bad. It doesn't mean that. And it doesn't mean the coach can't coach. But if there's a large sample size, don't look at home games, right? The way we score it, you're supposed to win at home, so you get 0. And you're supposed to lose at home, so you get 0. So everything in our program is either a -1 or a +1. I don't know that that's the right thing to do, but kids understand it. Hey, you play at home, you're supposed to win, right? Yep. So if you don't win, it's -1. Playing on the road, you're supposed to lose. So if you win, it's +1. So if you do that, and I learned that early in my career from Tim Floyd, if you only play plus-minus, if you only look at the road games, I think that it says a lot. Specific to the question, but also to your question, like, yeah, you can pick up a lot. And then you're not supposed to talk about this either, but I always play, I break it down another category. What was the line of that game, right? Were you the dog? Because then you can really learn something too. And I don't believe in gambling, and I don't gamble. And I'm not promoting gambling, and I don't have it on my phone, and none of that. But over a long period of time, you can see a lot.
I'm truly convinced Vegas was the first analytics.
Yeah,
for all the
and
lines.
What book did I buy you for? Oh, I didn't buy you a book because you didn't go on the trip.
I knew that was coming.
Hey, I bought
just by the look in your eyes.
But that was chaotic brain. That wasn't on purpose. There is a book on that subject.
Is there? Is there really?
That is the most mesmerizing book of all time about a guy who is a gambler who figured out the line for himself and then bet in accordance with the real line because he was doing his own version of analytics, and he's very well known. I had never heard of him because I don't gamble.
Yeah.
But
that's fascinating.
Yeah, there's Ken Palm is into analytics.
Yeah.
The Nets into analytics.
Yes. Yep.
Vegas is into analytics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. That'll be a topic for another show, okay?
Yeah, I probably should stop talking.
Yeah, I don't want to get you in trouble. Yeah. I don't. He's Buzz Williams. It's the Buzz Williams Show. We'll come back. One more segment. Let's talk about what's next for the Aggies this week at Reed Arena. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield. You can customize your Aggie basketball experience at Reed Arena this season with a Flex Pack. For men's basketball, create a 4-game SEC pack. You can also create a 4-game women's basketball pack with any home games of your choice. Customize your Flex Pack today at 12thman.com/bball tickets or call 888-99-AGGIE. That's 12thman.com/bball tickets to buy your Aggie basketball Flex Pack today. By the way, women's basketball at Reed Wednesday. It's the 11 a.m. tip-off against Lamar, and they have won 5 in a row after beating Kansas on Sunday. Our final segment with Buzz Williams. DePaul and Memphis come in this week, and instead of getting into a preview buzz of positions, These are return games. When you worked the schedule last year, DePaul was Black Friday and Memphis. We go to Memphis. Both those teams now come here. Interesting return matchups against these two schools, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of math involved when you try to schedule, and it's predictive at best because the portal, you don't know who's going to be on the team. There's so many changes. And so we scheduled a home-and-home with DePaul. I guess that would have been 2 years ago. And that was after the fact that we had scheduled the home-and-home with Memphis starting. Both of them ended up starting at their place. A little bit of the 20-game schedule comes into play here. The AAC only plays 18. That's a part of it. The Big East does play 20. The coach at DePaul and I used to work together in our first jobs. And so the reason why that game was so early last year was that was the only available date. And then we couldn't do it this year over Thanksgiving because we had already committed to the Disney World tournament. And so this ended up being the first date that we had available. And so, again, you're going to play 18 conference games. You're going to play in the SEC, ACC Challenge. That's 19. Depending upon which MTE you play in. This year we played in one that had 3 games. That puts you to 22. Right. We like playing one after Christmas before SEC play starts. That puts you to 23. They count one in the conference tournament. That puts you to 24. So there's not a lot of maneuverability, and some of it is date specific. We can't play at Reed next weekend because of graduation, so that comes into play. That's why we're playing at Houston versus Houston. And so all of that is kind of factors that you're trying to figure out in advance. We already have the MTEs, I think, for the next 4 years. We need to get a home-and-home on a neutral site. We may sign a deal on that this week for next season. So there's just it's kind of like recruiting. You have to do it every day, and Coach Lair handles scheduling for us, and so there's a lot of math involved.
DePaul was a good road win last year, and Memphis I thought was a little bit of a turning point, Buzz, that team made. I know they didn't win, but really made that second half comeback and actually took a lead in that second half, and I thought it was kind of a growing moment.
Yeah, we played really well in the second half. Probably played as bad as we could play in the first half and probably as good as we could play in the second half. And so they're better this year than they were last year. And I'm not through studying DePaul. I'll do a little bit more tonight and a lot tomorrow, but I think they're actually better as well. So I'm glad that we're playing both at home. I hope that matters. But we'll have to play better against both teams in order to have a chance to go 2-0 instead of 1-1.
And just being home doesn't mean anything, correct?
Well,
I mean, I know it helps, but it doesn't mean you're.
Yeah, it doesn't assure anything.
Right.
You've seen some changes. I think Southern beat Mississippi State yesterday. Yep. I think Wilmington beat Kentucky the day before. If you have a choice, you want to play at home.
Right.
I do, because that means I get to sleep in my own bed. But it doesn't ensure that you're going to win just because you're at home.
You still have to play Aggie basketball.
I think Memphis played 3 games in the Bahamas, and then they're playing 3 consecutive road games. They played at Ole Miss and lost by a possession on Saturday. I think they play at VCU the night that we played DePaul. And then they play us on Sunday afternoon. So they're worrying about their net too, which is why they're playing those road games as well.
It's a great point. Buzz, thanks for this hour.
Yes,
Absolutely
sir.
appreciate
Thank you very
it. We'll
much.
see you on Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
You bet. He is Buzz Williams, head coach, the Fighting Texas Aggies. And here's what's ahead for the Aggies this week. It is Wednesday against DePaul. 8 p.m. is the tip. We will join you at 7:30 for the Dos Equis tip-off show. Dr. John Thornton and I will join you then. And then on Sunday, Memphis is here. It's a 3 p.m. tip. And that is a 2:30 tip-off show. Dos Equis tip-off show, the Aggies and the Memphis Tigers. Usually I run out of time, but I'm not going to do it this time. Kevin Menschow is our engineer here at Rudy's. Always glad to have him here. And Ty Kiesling is the producer of The Buzz Williams Show in our Learfield studios. Once again, a reminder, you can join A&M women's basketball. That's at Reed Arena. That is Wednesday, and that's December 6th. It is a special 11 a.m. tip-off against Lamar. It's elementary school day and holiday hoops. Price tickets are available for purchase. For the game info and to buy tickets in advance, make sure you check out 12th Man mobile app or visit gameday.12man.com. As for the men against DePaul, the 8 p.m. tip, that is the first holiday hoops. Tickets begin at $5, available in advance or even on game day, and arrive early. Visit the Fan Zone. It's located at the north entry of Reed Arena. It features games, food, and fun for all. And for game info, to buy tickets in advance, check out the 12th Man mobile app or visit gameday.12man.com. Again, for the head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies, Buzz Williams, I'm Andrew Monaco. We thank you so much for joining us. Thanks and gig 'em. This is Aggie Basketball from Learfield.